Unfiltered podcast. This is episode 6 or something like that. We really should probably count that before we start, but here we are. And yeah, we have some new guests for you today. The classic me and Flo as hosts.
That's exciting.
Yeah, we're still exciting. Yeah. But we have 2 new people. You guys want to say your names? We can start over here. She tried to pass it off, but I'm not letting it happen.
My name is Estelle, and should I say where I'm from?
Yeah.
And I'm from France, like you can hear really clearly.
How old are you, Estelle?
I am 21.
Oh, 21. Nice.
Yeah, my name is Guimel, and I'm from Argentina, and I'm 18.
Whoa. You know what I was thinking before we started recording, actually, is that we're like a bit old.
Yeah. We're like the older sisters.
Yeah.
That never happened to me.
What do you mean? You are an older sister.
Yeah. Sorry.
I literally have a younger brother.
I do have a brother, but I meant like in this setting, you know?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's always like, I don't know how to explain it.
Anyway, I get what you're saying. Sorry.
Thank you. More mature people around here.
Anyways, reeling it back in. Today we have kind of a fun topic for you. We're going to be talking about, we don't really have a title, so I'm just going to kind of give the whole topic in general. Yeah. We're talking about fandoms / like being fans of things / being obsessed with things. Ooh, controversial. Ooh. And kind of what that looks like, because I think this is something that's super relevant in our culture, and also social media is like a huge place where like I feel like there's like a million fan accounts of every single thing that you could think of under the sun, you know, like every single thing has a fandom, and like anyway, so it's really relevant, but I think we kind of also wanted to talk about it from also a Christian point of view, what that looks like for us, like if we have obsessions or things that we're really into. Maybe obsession is a strong word, but like things that we're big fans of, and kind of what that looks like also from in a Christian lifestyle. I don't know. I can start maybe. Get the ball rolling. Here we are. It's like confessional.
Let's go, Abby.
It's been a long time since my last confessional. No. I think if we're talking like I don't want to say obsession. I'm a huge fan of Taylor Swift. Okay. Oh, let's all settle down. Let's settle down. Let's settle down.
Wow.
Don't freak out. Don't freak out.
There's a lot to chew on.
Yes, there is a lot. I knew this was coming.
Spicy.
I have been a big fan of Taylor Swift for a long time, since the Fearless era, for those of you who are fans. But I think it's also like definitely like a massive worldwide thing right now, especially with her and the Eras tour, and that's a whole big thing. Her re-recording all her music, blah blah blah. So she's like very much in the spotlight at the moment, and people are really obsessed. Like it's crazy. I remember when I first became a fan, and like she had a big following still, but like it's like next level.
Yeah, now it just grow. There is like a whole style around it. Like
people are like
it's
huge.
Obsessed.
Yeah,
it's too much.
Yeah, so that's like kind of I would say like my biggest like I'm like I would say I'm part of the fan base. You know, with that. I don't know if you guys have like
Fandom.
in the fandom. I don't like saying that.
I don't like
this
so
word.
I really don't like it.
But that would be mine. My like what's it called? Guilty
Fandom?
pleasure kind of thing.
Yeah.
Flo, you have one? You're a big fan of things or no?
Not really. I was trying to think of something, and I'm like, I don't know about like something or someone in particular, but I do have things like movies, for example, or like TV shows. I get really obsessed with them. I'm like, I need to finish today. This like
it's true. If you know Flo, like you know that anytime you go to watch anything on Netflix, she's like, I already seen it. I've already seen it. Oh, have you seen this new like show? It has 10 episodes. It just came out last night. Yeah, I already seen it. Literally everything. So annoying.
Guilty. I declare myself guilty. It is true. Yeah, I think like again, I don't have like one obsession with like one person, but like there's something about TV shows that if I don't finish in the night or in the day that it came out, or like in the moment that I'm watching it, I can. don't know how to explain it. Like I need to finish because I'm really like intrigued by it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I need to, even if it's bad,
I get
you know, like, but not with movies. I like rewatch movies and I'm like, it's okay. Like movies is 2 hours, but TV show is like
you have to finish the story.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, you just have
like
to
I'm
if it's
too
good.
invested.
If it's
Thank
good, you have to finish it.
For
Yeah.
a very long time, I couldn't like watch something else if I didn't finish a TV show. So I need to do one TV show by one TV show.
Wow.
It was
That's commitment.
even if it was bad.
Yeah.
Even if it was bad.
You're
if
committed
it-
to
if
This
it.
was hard.
I always give it. I always give it
Era.
3 episodes. If it's not entertaining me at that point, that's
No,
it.
you're
Done.
Now,
committed,
yes.
like
But before,
I'm with you, Guimel.
I don't want to waste my time. Like
yeah.
7 seasons. I'm like, no.
Oh
way,
yeah,
no.
agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want to wait
true,
till
yeah.
like season 4 until it's good.
yeah.
No, I'm
with
it's
you.
a
if it's
TV
not
shows
good by
are
episode
good.
3, that's it.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So I think like as I was saying, like I don't have one specific thing, but I think that will be my like guilty pleasure, as I like we said.
Yeah.
I don't think it's guilty pleasure. It's not good, but I don't know. What about you, Guimel?
I don't think I have like consistent obsessions. Like I'm more like spurts
Yeah.
of obsessions. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be like
Mm.
gaming, like
Mm.
like all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's movies or TV shows,
Yeah.
or music, or
Mm.
sports, or
Mm.
I don't know. It just kind of like it's always changing.
Yeah.
They always kind of like stay in the same
Mm.
group. Like it's like the same couple of things, but then
Yeah.
just like
You just
times
kind of cycle through
or
it.
like fashion. Like sometimes I'll be
Mm.
buying
Yeah.
clothes. Or like, you know what I mean?
That's a
That's a
online
good one,
online
though.
shopping. That could be a whole episode.
can you call it
man.
a fandom?
No, not
Shopping
really.
online.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No,
Second
because
language
you can
speaker.
Be addicted to shopping.
Yeah.
You could be obsessed with Taylor Swift's
But
fashion.
would you call it a fandom though?
Yeah,
think
but
it's
that's
true.
different. That's like
Yeah.
specifically for like
The
a
concert.
person.
Are you addicted
know?
to Taylor Swift's
No,
fashion?
I'm not addicted.
I mean, like those girls that like go to the concert and fully dressed, like with the
Yeah,
sparkly
but
things.
it's cute though. Sometimes it depends of the
Bro.
heart, I think.
No.
I don't want
you
to
will
say
do
that's
it?
different, but I wouldn't personally do that. Like I
Yeah.
might like dress up a little bit. I'm not gonna like go in my normal
Yeah.
clothes. but,
Yeah, yeah.
like- Anyways, back over to Estelle. Over to Estelle.
Gonna go to another.
You
page.
have any anything that you're really into?
I think wow, sorry, my thought process. I think people know me, especially here in the base and in the house, for being like a huge fan of anime. But I actually don't think I'm nowadays I'm no more like such a huge fan, but because nobody look anime around here, no one. Okay, you, but
I
you're
do.
not in our house.
Not a lot,
sadly,
but I
though.
do sometimes.
But like no one is watching that, so people like
Yeah.
characters me as like this person who like love anime, which it's true. I really like
And
it.
like K dramas and stuff. You really like, or not as much anymore.
oh.
Oh,
Okay, for you to know, I think it's interesting to know.
controversial.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. We're unpacking it. Okay.
Okay, there is
Yeah.
Korean like obsession and
Yeah.
Japan obsession.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
Japan is more anime and everything, and
Oh, okay.
Korea it's like much more like idol, like you know the singer and the like
yeah, yeah.
BTS,
Right.
and also K dramas.
Yeah.
But it's much like I think I would separate them, me in my heart at least, because I'm not like we can talk it later, like maybe in the podcast. But I think
We're in the podcast.
no, later
live
on,
right
later
now.
on the podcast. But I think like sometimes,
I was so confused.
sometimes
when
I
we're
was like,
recording.
where are we now?
Wait, what? Wait a minute. What's going on?
I don't know what are like I
No,
need, like,
I get what you're
you
saying.
know what I
Sorry.
mean?
Yeah, yeah. I
Like,
see.
later
Like we
on.
don't need to unpack
Yeah.
it right at this moment.
so
I got
like
you. Yeah.
I think like especially with anime, you like watch them for a reason, and I think like the Korean culture, it's for another reason that you idolize it, which yeah, we can talk about it later. But like
Yeah.
both of them, like if you're too much into it, I think it's problematic. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my next question, kind of attached to that, is like, what are, when you get really into something like anime, or for me Taylor Swift, or for Guimel, anything under the sun, I guess. Sorry.
Whatever is your obsession.
It's okay.
Like, what are some like behaviors that you see in yourself? In the last episode, in case you watched it or listened to it, we were talking about habits, which I actually think is really connected with this in some ways. Like, what are some behaviors, or like, I don't know, like how do you see yourself when you get really into something, like when you're watching a show, or you get really into a show, right? Like you're really obsessed with it. Like, how do you see that changes maybe your like your attitude
Yeah.
or like how you're living your life. If that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was thinking about this before actually.
Okay, cool.
Because
Great.
I was like, I need to bring something to the table because I'm not obsessed with anything, but apparently I'm obsessed with TV shows because I watch everything. But I realized that when I get really into it, like everything around me is like out. Like I don't think about anything. I'm so into it. Like I'm like, and I'm like, it's a way of escaping as well. And I don't think in some ways it's good because then I finish and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? I need to find something else or like go and escape in a different way or like, I don't know, not escape.
It's like you're put back into reality.
Yeah,
kind of.
and it's like suddenly like, oh shit, I have a life.
Yeah.
In some way it feels like a dream because you know how you like dreams sometimes get really like real.
Yeah,
really real. And you wake up.
Oh my lord.
Wow.
This podcast is gonna be amazing.
I hope this is entertaining for someone out there listening to us laugh the
difficult
whole
to
time.
be here, guys.
No, it's good. It's good.
But yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but mainly like you get really into it.
Yeah.
And then like I like move out of my dream and I'm like, was that even real? Would that happen? That was 8 hours. It just happened, like watching something.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's
wow,
real.
I got consumed. I started like in daylight and now it's night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was my day. And I feel so disgusting afterwards. Like, I feel like I don't know, like, I need to go and take a shower and like whatever, but I feel so heavy and so like tired afterwards. Or like I move out of my reality to like from my escape to my reality and I'm like, shoot, I need to go and be with people or like those things or my responsibilities or like, oh, I didn't do this and like everything is a mess and I'm like,
I feel like it's a big problem. Like it's like kind of like with social media. It's like really linked with this because I feel like especially at least with TikTok or like Instagram, like you enter in it thinking, oh, I'm just gonna like pass my 2 minutes in it.
Oh yeah,
and
man.
we all know,
trap.
guys. We all know it never end up being 2 minutes.
it's a trap.
I'd be scrolling.
Yeah.
I'd be scrolling.
For way too
really
long.
be scrolling. But anyway, continue.
No, sorry.
Yeah. I get what you're
So, yeah, I
saying.
think,
Like
yeah,
you get
everybody
really
can,
like drawn into it, and there are moments where it's like once you step out, it's like holy crap! I didn't realize how deep I was in there. You know?
Void.
Yeah. Like you almost enter into their world.
I
Especially
feel
like
like
a TV show or a movie or something.
I feel like I become one of the characters, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm like there, and I'm like, you do this, and I was doing this, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Flo, calm down, like this is real
Yeah.
life. And sometimes, like, I don't know if it happens to you, but I get really like, oh, I wish I was in the TV show because I already know the answers.
I
you know?
have that with the dreams.
And like, I go to like live, and I'm like, oh, I need to like do live, and it feels like so sad. But my life is not sad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it feels like such a reality shock in some ways. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a fun fact actually about that.
Oh.
In middle school, I was passing my lessons and I couldn't concentrate because I was rewatching in my mind the last episode of Prison Break and I couldn't think about anything else. Well, I passed, but I don't know how I did that. It's so bad.
A Prison Break.
Yeah,
I've heard really good things about it,
It's
but
so
I've never
good.
seen it.
In middle school, I was really into it, and like my dad also, who is not a huge fan of like any TV show or any movie, started watching it with me. So it was like becoming like a moment with my father also.
Yeah.
So okay, it's kind of an
Adds a
excuse.
little-
Yeah.
But and so like I could like, I became like really into it.
Wow. Yeah, I think I like another point. Sorry, going
No.
going away from Prison Break for a second. I think that also with fandoms, a real thing is also like being really defensive of it. Like of your show that you're watching or like whatever. I think also if I can talk from personal experience, if we're looking at Taylor Swift's fandom, people are so defensive of her in like crazy ways, man. And to be honest, I also have had these moments where like people are talking about her and I'm like, that's not actually what happened. she
with the
dated Joe
boyfriends.
for 6 years. You know, like, I start to like tweak out. But I like, it's true that like you
Sorry.
you know, you guys can laugh, but my Swifties out there, you know what I'm saying. But in some ways, like I think also in fandom, if we're talking about like getting really into things, you can also like, especially if it's one person or something, you like in some ways I feel like I know Taylor Swift. Like I feel like if she was here, like I could have a full blown conversation with her and like we'd be friends, you know?
I can see you being
Because
friends with her.
thank you. Thank you so much. No, but
Tay, if you're watching this.
reeling it in for a second. Like I think there is like also you get so into something and you know I know so much about her life, you know. Obviously not everything because you also know what is published or whatever, which is also changes things and whatever. But I think like they're like you know so much about these people, you know. It's actually really interesting and how like people like I don't know, someone that you've never met, you know, like that's a really interesting like idea, you know, like getting so into something that like either isn't reality or is like someone that you don't even know, you know what I mean? Like you don't know anything about them, and people can get so defensive, you know, like really fight for these things and fight for like their name or I don't know, be defending them. Also spending a lot of money. Like money on
like merch. Concerts.
Yeah,
the fashion of
the fashion, you know, and not just with I don't know a musician or with shows, but also with so many things like like gaming, for example. There's a lot of equipment that you need to buy and like being updated with the latest whatever. I don't know that much. I sound really old.
No, it's true though.
But
it
like
gets expensive. And the games themselves, like £70, like each one. Which is
crazy.
It's insane.
Like, do you know a lot of people that like have spent crazy?
I know
money?
people that spent over thousands.
Yeah, thousands. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then in the game, you can buy things.
Yeah,
So
which is so
in the
dangerous.
game.
Yeah, especially when it's
me myself,
small
I've spent
amounts.
like at least £300.
Oh,
wow.
that like.
Ooh.
But it's not like at once though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like £5.
Yeah.
£10. £5.
Yeah.
£3. Like it's not like 300.
Right.
So like it's not as bad.
Yeah. You don't
but
feel
if
like
you
you're
like
spending
look back and you're like, damn, I spent like £300 on this game.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But
it's
I
a bit
don't.
embarrassing. I won't lie. Like,
Guilty pleasure over there.
But after like it's not the same thing. But like I know I spend like so at least my parents because I didn't have money. But they spend so much money on manga that I'm gonna read only once. Manga.
Yes. Sorry. I'm with you.
That I'm gonna read only once, but I feel like because it's object, I feel less bad. But I think the same. I spend like maybe not 1,000, but like hundreds of euro for sure on it because every book is like £7.
Wow.
Like especially now, the price. Sorry guys, it's
I feel horrible about it because it's not even real.
Yeah.
It's digital. You know what I mean?
Where'd you go?
There is no like justification. Like there's no. It's not like I can like grab it. Like there's no justification.
Yeah.
It's like on a screen.
Yeah.
But in the moment you're like, yeah, why not? Like it's cool. Like it's a
only
skin.
£5.
Like this gun looks so cool.
Also when it's like,
Like,
2-3
and
pounds,
then-
you're like
Yeah.
And then it's like, why did I do that, man?
Yeah.
Like even like the day after, like
yeah.
the other day I was playing Fortnite. Oh, that's not my main game. I play Call of Duty, but I was playing Fortnite and then I hadn't hopped on in like a week, and I saw Billie Eilish in the item shop.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah, there's a Billie Eilish skin that came out, and I bought it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you. I'm with you.
I'm
I'm with you. Yeah. Like
it's the
her
real
character.
Yeah,
person.
her
it was
character,
like
yeah.
£16.
And you bought her.
I
No.
and I'm not even a fan of Billie Eilish, but like
It was there. It was there.
I'm not even a fan. That's the worst part. I'm not even a fan. Like
Yeah.
she's like, it's not that I'm not a fan, but like I don't really listen to her music. But it looked cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then I was like,
Yeah.
wait, why did I do this?
Yeah.
And you can't even refund it. So
It's like autopilot, you know?
Yeah.
Just getting things like.
man, I need to
it's there.
tape it to my back, like my hand.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. Taking it kind of a step further or a step deeper, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, how are ways that maybe you've seen, also either yourself or others, whatever, also put like kind of their identity in these things? Like, have you seen that in yourself? Like, I don't know. For example, if we're talking about K-dramas or Korean,
K-pop,
Japanese
culture. There we go.
Yeah.
That was the word I was looking for. Like I've seen so many people get so like I don't use this word lightly, but like really obsessed with it, you know. And same with Taylor Swift. Like, let's be honest, people get really into it. But like if we're talking about that and going a bit deeper into it, like I've seen people really change like also their appearance, like what they wear and what they eat and what they do,
and they skincare.
Their skincare. That's a whole
Korean
thing.
Korean skincare are amazing.
Yeah. To be honest, I kind of want to get a Korean facial.
Yeah, I
but
want to
that's a
try as well.
conversation. We'll go back to
Anyway,
it. But yeah, like, I don't know. I see also like people changing also in some ways their identity. Like, have you guys experienced that maybe in yourself or in a friend or in, I don't know, somewhere? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's a bad thing, but sometimes it's not so much of a bad thing. Because like, I feel like the world around you makes you, or like,
who you are.
raises you in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like, you don't know anything when you're born, obviously. Your parents are the first ones to teach you things in life.
Yeah.
Like rules and like what you can, shouldn't do, and just general ways of living. But then I feel like culture, and then your friends, and then outside of that, the world, and then internet, you get information and just a bunch of things from
it's
there.
a whole other.
So like, I feel like sometimes when it becomes an obsession or a fandom or whatever you want to call it, I feel like that becomes a negative thing. But sometimes it's not as negative. Depends what it is.
Yeah.
I think for me it's like a bit similar and not the same, because I was telling I don't know who before, but I was like, shout out to my mom. But as a kid, my mom was really strong on like you cannot get obsessed with things, like not having idols in your life, and like for me fandom or like being a fan of something is like following that, you know. And she was like, no one can take that place like from Jesus, and like I grew up in a Christian household, difficult word. But my mom was really strict about that, and like because she experienced this before, she was really a fan of something, and she saw how like that broke her life in some ways, and she didn't want the same for me. So like as a kid, from the many things that I learned from her, like that was one of the stay with me like for so long. So every time I like get obsessed, I don't know, with a singer or something, for me it was like I can get like too obsessed because like God is gonna get angry at me or stuff like that. And this is my kid's mentality, you know. I even have it till this day that I'm like, I can't get obsessed with things. And like, or I will follow things because like it will, I don't know, I had a friend who was really like a fan of Marvel. And he was like, he knew all the stories and everything. He would take me to the movies and like told me all the stories. And I was like really excited because it's something that he loved, you know? And because I love that person, like I wanted to like also love the same thing. But for me it was like I cannot not too much because it's like not good for me, you know. Even until this day when people ask me like what's your favorite movie, I was like I can't decide because I can't have something favorite, you know, or like something that I can get really fun into it. And in some ways like it stops me a lot from enjoying things because like you can like things and enjoy things, but of course there's boundaries and limits in the things that you can love or things, you know, like the same with Taylor Swift. I'm pretty sure you like, you know it, but I don't think you're obsessed like these people that are like, I'm gonna spend thousands and thousands and travel to another place to like just go and see her, you know. Like if you can go, I think it'll be a blessing, you know, but we'll talk about that later.
I wouldn't do that. I think also like there's like, if we're talking practically, like people spending money, but also like people spend a lot of time on these things, you know, like even like, I don't know, people spend like so much time trying to decipher what she meant by on the third night of her tour she winked at the camera on the 14th of July.
I love seeing YouTube video about
like
it.
it's like crazy and like there's it's just wild. So it's also like you're talking like money, like that's a whole like that's a very physical thing, but also like people really spend a lot of time on these things too, you know,
and they fully dedicate to that. That's sometimes like the only thing they do, like my life is dedicated to this person, this thing, and it's like in some ways an idol, and for me it's like
I think also when the emotion gets involved too much, like okay, when I was speaking about anime and Korean, now I can explain it a bit more because I think it's the big moment. I feel like me, at least with anime, it was really like you kind of like already said, like entering in a new world. And because I'm somebody like really in fire all the time, like if I get like interested by something, I dream very big and I love that, and I would not stop myself from doing it until it doesn't like go before God in some way. So I allowed myself to like dream big because like I know God can like use it to like take me with it in some way. But like with anime, the thing that I love is that you don't have any limits in your creation, and I love it, and they're so creative. After like something that I would say like is a problem, it's that you really need to take care of what you're watching. And when I was like younger, I was like watching everything and anything, which is I think okay, like I think it's a process with God. And slowly with like myself growing with God, I realized like a lot of anime actually like there is something called Tokyo Ghoul, for example, which I heard it was a great anime.
Great.
I saw the first episode and I was like,
Just right after he said it was
No,
I don't back you
I
up.
understand.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I said, this is why I have a 3-episode rule.
Yeah.
You have to wait at least 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Second and third.
But
That's where it starts
I'm not saying that it's not bad, because like I saw the drawings and everything, that it's really good, but like the I don't know, like basically there I don't know if it's too trash, but like it's a bit trash, to be honest. Tokyo Ghoul.
And watched 1 episode.
Oh, yeah, but like already the first episode, you can know that like anyway. All of that to say, like I felt like it. Sorry, I didn't want to like hurt your feelings.
Hey, if you don't
But
like it, it's fine.
like for example, okay, I'm gonna speak about something that I know because I watch it fully. It's Naruto. I don't know how you say it in English. And I loved it at the moment where I watched it, but like basically he have a demon inside of him which give him power. Sound like that, it's terrible, but like when you watch it doesn't like appear so bad. And I think today I would not be able to like rewatch it and enjoy it so much. I still watch One Piece, for example. I love One Piece. I think One Piece is the best anime, but that's my own opinion. You know when you say about rivalry? Like
Rivalries.
Yeah, yeah. Naruto and One Piece are clashing. Anyway.
Okay. I
So
see.
and I feel like the problem of like mangas is that you really like enter in a world where like everything is possible, which like can like also like close you in some way in your own bubble.
Yeah.
Which I think is really dangerous, especially when like you would rather spend your time watching anime than like speaking with people, which I think God created us to like speak with people. Like we can enjoy like the creation and the art of mangas and anime, but I think it's also very important to like not put it as priority in your day. And something that I saw with K-dramas, sorry, it's very long what I'm saying, but it's like especially K-drama and K-pop are something, at least at what I see around me, and I spoke not long ago with a girl who really, really like anime in our house. It's that even her, she needed to stop because K-drama involve your emotion really, like multiply the emotions really strongly. Like if you like are lonely, it's so dangerous for you to like watch K-dramas because you're creating these fake boys like that is so perfect that like answer like all your criteria, like who are like not human, and you expect everybody to treat you as this guy should, like as this guy do. And I was speaking with this girl, and she was saying like, yeah, I need to stop because I realized like all that I was looking into it was like feeding my emotions, and nothing should like feed your like. I feel like God should be the one taking care of your emotions. If you feel lonely, you shouldn't like find an answer into like something from the world. You should like come to him and deal with him, because I think in this case there is like deeper problems in some way than just like, oh, I'm lonely, I'm gonna watch a K-drama. And I feel like K-pop is like the same with those guys who like so nice, you know, all their life they are like also have the perfect answers, like talk to you as if you were the girlfriend, or like as if maybe not the girlfriend but like the friend, you know. And you like become so attached to them, you like know everything about them at a point that like the same with like Taylor Swift. I think they like become like obsessed and like change for it, and I found it like very dangerous. Also like when you like start like wanting this guy to be your boyfriend, like, and you would like it like become at a stage where your emotion I lead by what he do, lead by like how he act. And if you learn, at least in Korea, it's really bad if you learn that one of the artists have girlfriends. They are not allowed normally to have girlfriends.
Wow.
Because of how crazy the girls can be. I'm not speaking about anyone and everything. I think it's okay to like listen to K-pop. But there is always like a state, and like I feel like they are so attractive in some way that it's very dangerous to like stop yourself soon enough in some way.
No, it's really good. I think like kind of to wrap it up, because I think we've talked a lot about maybe the not so nice things about fandoms, which to be honest, like I think that's valid, and I think that's also the point of us sharing like also our own experiences. But I can also say, if I'm like speaking for me, like I of course can see how like maybe some people, or even me at some points in my life, maybe have gotten like so into Taylor Swift or so into something that it's like, okay, girl, chill. But also I can really say that like I really enjoy Taylor's music, which is why I listen to her. And there's been like plenty of times where like, I don't know, I listen to her songs and they like brighten my day, you know, or like I like have a good experience. Like I'm going to see her in August. And I'm so excited.
In the UK?
Yeah, in London, Wembley. Woo. And like I'm really excited not only to like, of course, to see her, but I think it's going to be like a really fun experience, you know, to like listen to these songs live that I've listened to my whole life, you know, like that's a really cool experience. And so I guess like, of course, we've talked about ways that maybe like these things are like fandoms or things can be idols, but what are maybe things that are positive, or like also how does like, can God fit into these fandoms, you know, like are there ways that like God can use these things to also, I don't know, bring goodness and for us to see more of his character? Like, do you think that, or do you think it's like, nah, you know? What do you guys think? Guimel?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go.
I think God can be in anything and everything.
Yeah.
First of all, because he created everything.
Yeah.
So I think it would be illogical to think he can't be in something. I mean, simple, point blank.
Yeah.
But also, like, sometimes we might feed into our own delusions. I think it's like try to convince ourselves that something might be like in God's like how do I explain? Like we might like convince ourselves that God might be using this like fandom that we might have in a certain way, but we're just trying to convince ourselves of that, and it might not be that at all. We're just trying to convince ourselves that this is good, even though we know it's not. Depending on what it is, it might not be bad, but I think sometimes we can kind of just trick ourselves. But it just depends on what it is. I think it just like, for example, you going to that concert, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I might not be a fan.
You are
like,
released.
Like
I can go
like,
please my daughter.
Like I might not be a fan.
I get what you're saying.
But like you can go to the concert and listen to music you like. As long as like you don't idolize it or put it before God. Simple as that, I think.
I think it's also important to know that like also God enjoys what we enjoy, you know, like of course there's like boundaries and limits and things that we love, like as we said in the last episode, like football, or like even baking or whatever you like or whatever I like. There's always like a space of like allowing God to move in that, you know, like of course we can be like, I don't know, I'm not the kind of person who listens to Christian music at 24/7, you know, simple, I know. But there's moments that I need like uplifting music, you know, and like worship does bring that. But I feel like there's God created everyone to bring something different into like our lives, you know. Like if God created Taylor Swift in this point, I don't know, it's the only person that came to my mind, and brings that, as long as you like also have the boundary or like knowing that God is your first, like not you, I'm saying to anyone, like as long as I know that God is. So it looks like we're attacking Abby today.
No,
we're not.
It's
Which is the most physical example I have right
no,
now.
it's okay. Don't worry.
But even in my life, like if as long as I know that where God is and like who God is in my life, I think you can do like everything and anything. Like Guimel was saying, God is in everything and everything that we do. But we can miss that, you know, like, oh yeah, because God allowed me to like listen to all this music, I'll do it 24/7, like or on music or watching something or like being a fan of football or anything. Like I feel like as long as it doesn't take your identity away from God, I think as long as also you have a healthy like boundary, like I think it brings so many good things, you know. As I said before, I don't really have anything that I'm obsessed with that I can say like, oh, it brings like so much, I don't know, freedom into my life. But I see it in other people, you know, like, and it's also beautiful to see that everyone can bring something that will also heal what God is doing, and God uses everything, and that's the beautiful part about God, you know. So
Estelle, do you want to add anything?
Sorry, I was like so in.
Yeah, I saw your eyes looking. I was like, ooh.
You went into Flo's reality.
Also, like, I don't know. I feel like the thing that I want to say, it's what this guy said in the last podcast. I mean, I hope it's the last podcast. I don't know how you gonna manage that. But I think, I see a lot of beauty in also like, for example, I'm gonna talk about me personally, like in animes and in like Yeah, those things, because there is also like the hand of God in some way. Like all the art is like the creation of God. So I agree with you. Like we can always bring God inside of all of that. And I think like the guy said before, in the last post, so sorry guys.
You got
it.
Last podcast. There we are.
Okay, it's okay.
I said it.
Yeah,
in the last one.
The last one.
Yeah.
I think it's like just the like process of putting God into it, and I think like me, it's also like came during a season where I needed protection from the world. For example, in high school, I had a lot of friends who like fall into drugs and like hard drugs, and so in some way it was like my covering, and like coming back to home and like having my space of like, I don't know, like a bubble, which I agree, if like you can pray and you can like spend your whole day in the Bible, it's like the ideal, but also sometimes you just need like something comforting to go back to, and like sometimes it's like where like actually God meets you like in some way. And I don't know, I would love like, I never really thought about doing it but like being like intentional by like watching anime with God. I don't know if like you already heard of that, but one of the girls in our house was doing like breakfast with God. Like she was basically eating, but just like by like realizing that God's presence is with him.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so beautiful. So yeah, I really like also like think, for example, the concert of Taylor Swift, it's gonna be like great. I think I heard so many good things about like how the like she performed well, and it's not bad, I think, to like actually like be, because like having passion, because like it would make you alive in some way. Like if we were not passionate, we would not be like God, because God is a God passionate. So
I think it also brings a lot of community. Like there's so many people, I mean, like with Korean culture and Japanese culture and gaming, like online there's like a million like people using like playing these games that you can connect with, you know. And I think that's also like in a lot of ways like something that's really beautiful about these things, you know, and you can see like a reflection of also God, like that there is a big community of people who come together. Like I think that's really cool. But yeah. Speaking of community, those who are watching, you can join this one. Whoa. Look at that segue.
Very cool.
Smooth.
yeah.
And let us know what you want to hear next. This is the end of this episode, but there's going to be another one soon, so don't worry. But yeah, let us know what you want to hear. And we are looking forward to seeing you, or for you to see us, I guess, soon.
Stay tuned.
We'll see you. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.